What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord Dr. Professor Dark Joker here with another edition of Traditional Fans with Opinions, where I'll give my reviews for whoever I watched, read, or played today. And who are traditional fans with opinions? That is myself, and that is you, the viewers. With all that being said, on with the reviews. One Piece episode 1141. So in this one, Luffy in his Nika form is basically told by Bonnie that he is Nika. Luffy doesn't know what Nika is. Like, I don't even know if he's even heard the term. But basically, he like basically during all this, so he like does like his Dawn Gatling. Basically, it's kind of like doing the Gorilla Gun, but it's like a Gatling, so in fast pace. So Luffy knocks Saturn back, and Saturn comes across Katarina Devon and let's see, and Van Auger, who are like two of the 10 Titanic captains under Blackbeard. And Saturn asks them what Blackbeard wants, and basically Van Auger says the world. And Saturn knows about Blackbeard's timeline, now about his bloodline and all that. Now manga readers know what he's referring to. That Blackbeard's the son of Roxy Zebek, which that theories was going around when this chapter came out a lot. That was going around that okay, he's connected to Rox. And that theory was proven to be true like a few weeks ago in the manga. Now then so Kizaru tries to kill like tries to shoot a laser at Frankie, Bonnie, Atlas, and Vegapunk, but Sanji deflects it. And then so Sanji tells Frankie and Atlas to get Bonnie and Vegapunk out there. Vegapunk says that like if he moves, he's dead. That he knows best and that he'll die if he moves. And then of course we see Dory and Bragi and basically the giant pirates have landed and they start attacking the navy, so they're providing reinforcements. Usopp's really happy to see them. And then so Lilith and Brooke are still on the way with the ship. Like so, yeah. So basically, but Dorian Braga provides some help with basically destroying a bunch of Navy vessels. Yeah. So Saturn gets up from being knocked down after like the Devon and Augur leave because so Caribou approaches them, says that he wanted to join the Blackbeard pirates. So basically, Blackbeard seems to be like his idol, and he wants to talk with Blackbeard, presumably about the ancient weapons that he knows the location of, because he knows the location of Pluton, which is in Wano, and Poseidon, which is of course is Shirahoshi in Fishman Island. So basically, we have now in the manga we have not seen Caribou talk with Blackbeard yet. It is safe to say that conversation has already happened or is about to happen off screen. And Blackbeard's gonna make some moves soon, it looks like. But yeah, hmm. So I think that yeah, so basically so Caribou, Devon, and Augur leave. Saturn gets up and basically Luffy and Sanji basically start fighting Saturn and Kizaru. Now Zoro is fighting Lucci, And Jinbei is heading this way because, well, in layman's terms, Zoro's sense of direction sucks. Like, it is very well known that he can't, his sense of direction is very bad. So, honestly, Jinbei's heading there to get Zoro to the ship once the fight's done. While Lucci wants to keep the fight going so the Straw Hats will stay because he knows that like Straw Hats won't abandon one of their own. So I really like this episode. Looking forward to the next one. Use Exorcist, Chapter 111. So in this one, Suzuku still find Gakuro. So this basically she gets pissed off, and then she just I guess unseals her power. So she's like the heel of fire and all that. Basically, she had to restrain herself so she wouldn't burn all her family and all that. So she tells everyone, "Hey, we're gonna." She I guess sends a message to all her family that hey, we're gonna depart briefly, but yeah. So I guess it's I don't know if it's like an imagination or something. Basically, Suzuku says she has to unleash her full power. So her second seal is released. Basically wants to kill everything that stands in the way of Ishu's romance with Gakuro. And so Suzuku goes after, all the other girls there. So is able to evacuate everyone. So then all the girls who are vying for Gakuro help her, I guess, hold back Suzuku's attack. And then, so then Gakuro arrives to help them get out. And then it looks like Gakuro's able to block the attack, contain it. So yeah, so it looks like so obviously Gakuro's able to deal with Suzuki's attack. So we'll see what happens next chapter, see how he handles it. But yeah, I really like this chapter. Looking forward to the next one. Elusive Samurai Chapter 215. So in this one, we see Tokiyuki's forces and Takaji forces battle in the Battle of Musashino. Basically, in history, there's not a lot that's known. Basically, there's different dates, different locations, different outcomes given as far as what actually happened in the fight. Basically, but what is known is that the armies did a bunch of battles throughout the Kanto Plain, and that basically the tactics were basically winging it. Like they were not as organized. Yeah, so basically, so Natsu is bandaged up from having traveled the hundreds of which basically I guess it's a unit measurement that they use for length, and a equals 2.44 miles. Basically, she's done hundreds of miles, and then basically, on the 15th of then we s- then we get to the Battle of Hito Migahara. So it's there's a little short time jump, a few days, I guess, or something. So Takaji had brought everybody from Kamakura. It was it's around 20,000 there. And then basically Takaji is really pissed off, and that's cause him to lose his divine power, but since he had so much stored up already, he still has a lot of luck. Basically, they want to draw out, destroy, get rid of even more of his divine power, so they could defeat him. So the Nidas are sent to basically do some attacks, and then basically one of the Nidas talks to Aokos, calling her the strongest girl in Japan. Compared to this one woman in his family. Ayato asks what about her, says that basically she stayed in Yoshino. Basically her name was Iga no Subone, and she married Kusunoki Masashige's son, um, Masanori. And apparently she's raising a newborn. So then Aiko thinks about whether or not if she and Tokiyuki will end up having the kid. And she says to herself that if she becomes a mother, she can't raise a child and fight in a war at the same time. Yeah, so then, once, Nita's opponents retreat, he decides to, basically, one of the Nita decides to not, like, recklessly pursue them. And so he pulls out some Sun Tzu-like thing, like the Art of War. And then everyone's like, dude, you're better at you're fighting without, I guess, thinking. Yeah, and everyone's like, dude, he has good military. He's good, and he has good military instincts and all that, but he shouldn't need to pretend to be intelligent. And like, so basically, it's shown that Tokiyuki's vanguard won't be able to defeat Takagi. And he doesn't want to rush to a conclusion of the war, and he wants to actually just upset Takagi more to get more allies. So the idea he had basically, so uh, basically the idea that he has is to like flee like well and to basically not, since they don't betray anyone. The idea is to use levity as a way to beat Takagi, so that's something Takagi lacks. So basically so Tokiyuki and Nita, one of the Nita brothers, decide to they leave and leave it to one of the other brothers, the other brother, and then Takagi's basically he gets a message from Tokiyuki saying that basically the Nitas and the Hojos have taken Kamakura from. He gets that from Tokiyuki. Takagi's basically says he blames Tokiyuki for the death of the Mikado, the Morinau, and the Tadayoshi. And then yeah, so Takaji gets pissed. And so while this happened, while the message was sent to Southern Court, that's Tokiyuki side, did strikes simultaneously in the east and the west. Basically, Kyo was taken over, and then Kamakura was taken over. So and this ends with Tokiyuki returning to Kamakura. So yeah, I really liked this chapter. I liked all the battles and stuff, and how basically everyone was just doing whatever. It was basically winging it. I thought it was really funny. So yeah, I really like this chapter. Looking forward to the next one. Kagurabachi Chapter 91. So in this one, Hakari and Kiri are still fighting the Hisaku, with the member they're fighting being named Hokuto. So while they're fighting, uh, Natsuki Misaka appears. the brother of Ibuki, who's the Cloud Gouger's former bear. Basically, Natsuki challenges Hokuto, and basically Hokuto agrees to. He says that he'll introduce Natsuki to Ibuki's killer if Natsuki beats him, but if Hokuto wins, that Natsuki has to tell Hokuto where Uruha is. Basically, Kiri explains that like Hokuto, basically explaining that Hokuto's obsessed with fighting like Master Swordsman, and he wants to fight Uruha. So Natsuki's like pissed off at basically Hokuto not only thinking about swordsmen of the past, not thinking about whoever's in front of him. So Natsuki fights him, and is like actually doing well. So that Natsuki was jealous of Uruha. Basically, Uruha would be like act very formal with like some of the higher ups, but not really with him. Then Kiri, who would, you know, not really act formal with anybody. Basically, would treat everyone equally, just not even use like honorifics. And then like basically, so it's shown like Natsuki thinks that Uruha is already dead. And he's like whatever. Then Uruha arrives and Uruha tells Natsuki that oh, we can win with him here. So yeah, so looks like Uruha's down to fight. So yeah, so I really like this chapter. I liked all the combat, liked also with Natsuki, and I'm looking forward to the next one. Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi Chapter 57. So in this one, Kiyoshi wakes up from his injuries, and then with everyone having recovered from the fight, everyone eats at the restaurant to the Gates of Hell restaurant to celebrate. And, there's like conversations about, I guess, there's various conversations going on, like basically. So you have like Akari and let's see, you have Akari and then the one higher up demon exorcist lady, I can't remember her name, basically them fight like they both I guess are into Kiyoshi, seems like. So yeah, so and basically while everyone's eating, we see Sakagi bury Yuta, and then while he's walking back, he sees like the spirits of Yuta and this I guess the nun who helped raise him, and he like smiles a little bit. So yeah, that's kind of for a chapter. And it looks like there's still at least one more chapter. Yeah, so I imagine it's gonna be just some epilogue stuff. I'm betting it's got to be some epilogue. Probably, I imagine it's just gonna be some epilogue stuff going on, and we'll see. What happens, what goes on, like what happens with it. Like, is there going to be like more for this? Yeah, yeah. So I don't know how they're gonna continue this. Like, is there like more demon lords or something, or is there gonna just do one more chapter to finish it? So I'm interested to see what they do. But yeah, I really like this chapter. Looking forward to the next one. Ichi the Witch, Chapter 47. So in this one, Kumagi like reminisces on her career, how she kind of picked a job that like didn't really involve her doing much, so she went, I guess, like affect people, potentially hurt people, but she really enjoyed her ventures with Ichi. So she tells like Spica that she wants to do like basically keep doing like what she's doing with Ichi. Spica says no. She like Spica tells her that she's useless, and then basically she's a klutz and all that. Basically, I guess everyone is, I guess, seeing hearing, paying attention to the conversation. Kugi mentions that she knows that Spica had a magic surgery done to restore her eye, and that she's no longer handicapped, and basically the only purpose of the eye patch now is for it to look cool, which it does. And then basically becomes an argument. And it's because like, no, no, I still can't see. And yeah, she's still and Spica claims that she's short on sleep all the time because of Kumugi. And Kumugi says that someone who's short on sleep should not have as much energy as she does. And Spica says, well, no matter what, she's like, what's in this argument? It's about results, and she's like, let's have Ichi decide. And then Ichi then says, he bows and says, I'm sorry, you're not my type. I guess basically that's what Descaris told him to say. I guess if someone was invading his personal space. So Kumagi laughs at what Ichi said. Kui's like, and Ichi's like, oh, it worked. And basically, Descaris told Ichi that like that phrase like was like a magic chant to make people invading his personal space go away. Kumagi was laughing. Ichi does not understand, like, I guess doesn't understand why Kumagi's laughing. Ichi doesn't understand exactly what he just told Spica. So yeah, I really like this chapter. I liked how like you had all the stuff with Kumagi, like I guess her reminiscing her career and like basically her and Spica, I guess, hashing things out. Now this will probably develop if this season keeps on going, which it looks like it will. This looks like it could be a long form series. So yeah, so with this being a potentially a long form series, I think this could develop where Spica and Umugi could work things out. So I really liked also that Ichi's just like few lines is him what he just tells Spica is just funny. So yeah, I really like this chapter. Looking forward to the next one. Nice Prison, chapter 17. So in this one, so the door that leads to the super death row prisoner is locked. So Mitsuboshi and Dark Maul prisoner um they use a gravestone as a bang ram to bust open the door. So they bust in, and so Dark Ball Chain she I guess trying to block it, gets dented. So basically everyone's inside a movie theater. And we see Mitsubishi with drink and and popcorn. And so it's Rashomon, so that'd be Dark Ball Prisoner, tells Terra to cut off the sacred nightstick. Terra's like, how? So Kazuko's like the hostess of the Goho Legal Cinemas, which I guess is that the name of the movie theater they're in. Legal Goho Legal Cinemas. So it's like legal cinemas, whatever that means. And then so Then basically, so Kazuko's the lady that was at the bakery. So Mitsubi's trying to find the super death row prisoner, so who's like in the front, with his popcorn. And he tells him to be super death row prisoner tells him to be quiet. So Mitsubi's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Super death row is like, "Hey, be quiet." He's like, "Hey, it's time for." He's like, "Take a seat." And then you see Kasan talking to Dark Ball Chain, saying that reminded the time they went to a Ghibli film together. So it's implied that like they had dated in the past. So we see on the screen it's all I guess family films that Mitsubishi had like of Mitsubishi with Super Death Row Prisoner and Mitsubishi's mother. So yeah, and then yeah, Tara's like, wait, you shouldn't be recording stuff in solitary confinement. And so Mitsubishi says that he, as a kid, says he wants to go to Disneyland, and the mother says that they can that they'll go once they're released. Also, tells Dark Ball Chain that like they went to Disney with together. Probably like, hey, shut up. Yeah, Mr. saying, hey, I need a poop. Jordan's like, once we get out, Jordan's like, what the frick? Basically, showed that Super Death Row Prisoner promised Mitsubishi many things that that they'd be able to do as a family once it got out. Like, but so the mother got out first, but she died of an illness. While Super Death Row Prisoner was still doing time. So it showed that the reason he wants to make like Super Prisoner wants to make the entire world one big prison is so that so that a tragedy that wouldn't happen. So he'd be able to like keep his prison. And he called that's is his vision of the strongest prison world. He calls it the nice prison. And so Kazuko's like siding with super death row prisoner. So Mitsubishi turns a Kasan into a sword. And Mitsubishi says that, Super Death Row Prisoner shouldn't have committed any crimes in the first place. So Kazuko gives Super Death Row Prisoner like a pair of prongs that Super Death Row Prisoner turns into a sword, like a tong sword. So we see like a sword fight. And so it's revealed that the Death Row Prisoner, the reason he got the crime he got in trouble for was dining and dashing. So basically, he ate food at a restaurant and left without paying. And that was while I guess Miss Bushy's mother was pregnant with him. And then Miss Bush says the super bomb prisoner he reformed a bunch of people. Then he gets into his super mall prisoner power up, and he says he's going to reform super death row prisoner. So super death row prisoner like does a power up, gets into his super death row prisoner form. I think Kazuko, like, I guess has a power too, where she's like a Kazuko. So yeah, so looks like a fight between the two is about to happen. Now I'm assuming the nightstick is going to be involved as well. But yeah, I really like this chapter. Looking forward to the next one. Oh, they're the Flame, Chapter 15. So, with Eluperca, Eluperca revealed to be a princess, Other starts acting very formal. Eluperca says that this is why she kept it quiet, her lineage quiet, and basically Other asks why she's there. Eluperca says that, well, royal family used to fight, and basically she wants to fight for her people. And so Huggin explains that, Philia is one of the fire spirit, is a fire spirit, and is one of the legendary spirits that fought alongside the five heroes against, the evil king. Um, Basically so that Philia doesn't remember her current form, her original form. And that basically the way to restore memories is to travel the world, fight, talk with other spirits, and basically gradually regain everything, like memories, her power. And then, so Oda is given a, this like, I guess, badge thing, looks like a horseshoe, because every member of Slipnir's third hoof will basically carries that thing as like a member of as proof of their membership. And so basically, so Huggin the Wise is the captain of Slipnir's third hoof, and tells Oder that he won't go easy on Oder. Then Perko starts ordering Huggin around, and it's kind of funny while Huggin's trying to explain everything while he's just serving. Perko, it's actually kind of funny. So they arrive at the western bay of the Forest Kingdom, Noaton, to basically for their next mission, which is protect the Wind Spirit. Now, when they're there, so basically they're there to meet with their merchant fleet, and so one of, I guess, the young master of the family is a childhood friend of Edu Perko. So someone's trying to steal cargo, and this guy catches a stowaway, and so Other meets him, and then it's revealed that the guy caught the stowaway is Hutine the Order, who's I guess is Eoperko's friend, and Hutine is basically calls Eoperko his destined partner. Basically, I guess he considers Eoperko to be his future wife or something. Then Eoperko grabs Oder and says that Oder is actually her destined partner. Huggins you make a fine couple. Oder's what's going on? So explain what's going on. So yeah, that bit's funny. Uberko just being so nonchalant about it is funny. So Oder doesn't know what's going on, but yeah. Basically Kudin's probably not gonna like Oder and probably gonna try to compete with him for Uberko's affections, even though Oder may not understand that. So yeah, that should be funny. Hopefully they don't bog it down with stuff like with what happened with Kill Blue, and or at least where what I've read in Kill Blue, I got so bored with Kill Blue, and then with a lot of chapters in News Exorcist, but yeah, hopefully they'll bog it out. I don't think it will. I think it'll be pretty quick. But yeah, overall, I really like this chapter, and I'm looking forward to the next one. Harukaze Mound, Chapter 10. So in this one, Ibuki tells Arata that he hasn't really been in touch with the Golden Generation, and basically Nagaro asks about it. Basically, so the Golden Generation is not necessarily the all 20 members of the under 15 team. It's just the core members. And basically amongst the pitchers, you have four. You have the Grim Reaper. We have Mei Kurobuchi, who's nicknamed the Grim Reaper. Ritsu Harui, who's nicknamed Professor, and let's see, Arashi Kokono, who's nicknamed the Whiz Kid, and then you had Nagiharu's brother, Aokaze Kuzumi, who's called the Nova. Basically, he came in like in the third year of, he appeared there in the third year of middle school. So now it's like instead of the big three with the first three that I named, yeah, with Aokaze, you had the big four. And then so it's shown that Alkaze kind of ignored Arata, and then Iwi says that the one they should worry about is Mei, because who plays for Suzon High School, who was the champions the previous year for the East Tokyo district. Basically, Ibuki says that if they don't beat that school, they ain't making it to Koshin. And then so it's shown, Seishin will also be competing in the East Tokyo District tournament. So showing that I guess the real showdown is in the summer, so it's official game. So yeah, I guess it's like you have unofficial practice matches, then you have the official tournament. I guess that's just how I guess Japan does. I'm guessing it was practice matches. So there's not too much of a regular season. It seems like it's just a few practice matches, then the tournament. That's what it looks like. But yeah, so later, so Nagaro says he wants to get better, and there's a pitch he wants to try to like go against when he has his rematch. So at Hina, everyone arrives for practice, and then it's revealed that the team now has a manager who's a first year named Shiori Yokuki, who's a girl, and all the players are excited to have a girl as the manager. And apparently, she's good at hitting balls for fielding practice. Then the team gets their uniforms, and they all change their uniforms, and Shiori's kind of like embarrassed that all the players like changed in front of her into the uniforms. So then everyone gets a photo, and then it's revealed that so then basically Ibuki says that Hina now has a practice game against some champions in Chiba for the next weekend, and that's outside the prefecture. Then Ibuki says Nagara needs to work on master his pitch for that game. And then Nagaharu tells Ibuki that Alkaze is pitching against Suzon. So then we see the game. So you have the two Golden Generation pitchers. So you have Mei and Alkaze pitching in that game. So yeah, so seems that Alkaze has a certain pitch he uses. But yeah, so looks like we're setting up, future match of the potential players. So with all those names mentioned, this could be like a longer series. It looks like this could be a series that actually goes on for a while, not one that just 20 chapters. Yeah, we're done. Based on the names that I mentioned, it's like okay, they're not gonna. These are game. This is a series that could go on for a while. But yeah, so I really like this chapter. Looking forward to the next one. I want to see more of these teams, these players, this golden generation. Looks like they're gonna be big roles, so I really want to see them, in the future of this series. Ekiden Bros Chapter 8. So in this one, so the Oga Ekiden, starts, so we see the teams arrive, you know, Odanai and Satoku, those teams all arrive, and then we see so of course, not Nobu says hi to everyone on Satoku, and then everyone's shocked at Nobu calling his father sir, and basically, because Coach Cosmo is very formal in how he does things. So Matoi, and Kinzaki, they're running on the same stage. And apparently they went to the same high school, and I guess they're just giving each other death looks, so they're like seems to be big rivals. And then so so the runners are Bombayashi, Matoi, and and then all the underclassmen. So the underclassmen are running like in other stages, like at like so basically, so looks like so we start off with Bombayashi, so everyone's watching the live stream to see what goes on. So Bombayashi's going against Jin Samajima, who like basically tries to keep a steady pace and then gradually pass. So Babayashi and Jin they get far ahead of the pack, and Jin is just running closely behind him, trying to psych him out until he Babayashi slows down and Jin can just go right past him. Then Babayashi's able to keep a steady pace. He's basically basically the idea is to break away in the first half and just overwhelm everyone. And show that's why Odenai's coach put him in the first stage. So basically he's doing very well to control his speed and just run everyone. And Jin's like, what? So yeah, it looks like it's gonna be interesting these next few chapters and how this match goes. But yeah, so yeah, I like this chapter. I like how the racing started between the two schools, how the two teams came across each other. So yeah, I like this chapter. Looking forward to the next one. Ping-Pong Peril Chapter 7. So in this one, so Tyra's at school, having a little bit of break from, Ping-Pong Peril. And then, basically so his teacher, his chemistry teacher, who's the I guess the advisor for the ping pong club, who basically has some issues. So his name's Taiki Suji. Basically, he I guess had a bad date from after taking the girl he was on a date with to a action figure store, and then he jokes that he should maybe invent a love potion. But yeah, so and Suji says he thought that Tyra may have gotten over whatever happened when he quit ping pong. Suji says that he's always welcome, that Tyra's always welcome. But then Tyra on the intercom is called to the audio visual room. Then when he's called there, Mutsuki is there waiting for him. And then so Mutsuki explains that since Tyra's won 3 times in a row, that his promotion match is about to begin for to basically to potentially promote get up to another rank. So Tyra's at beginner rank, but you have rank. Then you go up to rank 5, to rank 4, to rank 3, to rank 2, then rank 1. Basically, the higher rank, the more money you can bet and earn. So, and the cash reward for rank 5 promotion match is 5 million yen. So it's 5 times more than what he has been making from the matches. So Tyra is led to the second to this old gymnasium, which is scheduled to be demolished. So Tyra arrives. There's like a regular table, and it's a regular ping pong table. And then so turns out who he's going against is Suji. Then so Tyra pulls out his $5 million, and then Suji pulls out his 5 million. Then Tyra pulls out only 3. And Suji says that he already talked to Mutsuki about it, about the money that to compensate. Basically the 2 million if he wins would be to be allowed to measure Momo Mikado's shape. Basically, so basically it's for the bet if Tyra loses out alongside 3 million, the rest would be paid by Momo having to get naked for Suji. And then Tyra is pissed off about that. I mean, like treating Momo like prize to be won, and he's like, you could at least price her at 5 quadrillion, 5 quadrillion. And he's like, you went for 2 million? Don't underestimate her. That bit was funny, but is like Susie's like, what? Why is he mad about? But Tyra's like, yeah, basically he wants to win. So I mean, he knows that Suji he's an amateur. So, but then Suji put some like Suji brand energy injection inside of him. So basically, it's like a performance enhancing drug to put him on equal footing. So that's gonna be the weird part of the match. So basically, that then the match starts, and that's really it. So yeah, I really like this chapter. I like how they're introducing the idea of the rank, so we see more ranks. So which leads to, I guess further, more high stakes matches in the future, assuming Tyra wins this, which I'm assuming based on the details of the bet and the fact that this is a shonen series, I'm gonna bet Tyra probably wins this. Like it would someone make when you have this kind of bet, like with Fairy Tale with Bacchus trying to his terms of beating Elfman, where that if Bacchus wins, he would be basically have a 3-way with Mira and Lisana. And basically, once that bet was made, you knew Elfman was gonna win for multiple reasons. One, because it's Elfman. Two, because that they were not gonna let that be it. There'd probably be some things like that you don't put in shonen, like or at least not show if it did have it off screen. But given the terms of this bet of Momo being involved, I think Tyra is gonna beat Suji in this match. That'd be my bet. We haven't seen Tyra lose. Probably won't for a little while. But yeah, I really like this chapter. Looking forward to the next one. Apocalypse Bringer Mynoghra episode 8. So in this one, Karia and Maria are escorted, you know, to Dragonton by these three bodyguards called the Brain Eaters, who look like basically look like some of the apothecary doctors from like the Middle Ages, the Renaissance, where you have like the bird looking mask. So when they arrive, so one name is Maria, I guess, starts bonding with the with the bodyguards while Karia is a little scared. So the mayor of Dragontown, Annalise Antic, who's a elf, um, who has a drinking problem, is very frustrated with her job and all that. And so, but she has to like, I guess talk with the twins. And she's wary when she learns that they're being trained for, when she remembers like being told by, by Tokopoli that those two are being trained to be future leaders of Mynoghra. She's like at least gets very nervous, so she starts trying to be very formal with them. And of course with the fact that the being was very like she was not. This is the first she heard about. She had time to prepare. You know, Maria and Maria, they're fine. We're like, yeah, we're fine. And so then the twins like walk around the city, and then one of the brainiers hands them a plant called popal grass that's sold. Basically, it's a hallucinogen, and it's being sold in the city. So they investigate. They find this crystal field. They meet a merchant named Vesta Crooklane is basically who's growing popal grass in that area and proposes a deal with the twins. But the twins do not show up to the meeting place since they don't trust them. So then the twins meet with Antic again. Vesta arrives and you know to get the twins answering the deal in person. Maria says that since she knew about Vesta's intentions and that basically she doesn't want to do business with him. Vesta shown the plans to dose them with a drug made from popal grass to enslave them, basically get them addicted. But he and his men are very quickly defeated by the Brainiers, who reveal their monster forms, and basically, yeah. Ooh. And then like Haria gets like you because like so Vesta calls Takudo basically so Karia and Maria they're like the servants of Takudo. Um Vesta calls Takudo uh a fan of the playground, I'll just say that. He calls Takudo a pervert and calls something basically says that calls Takudo something that means that he really likes children too much. Haruya gets very pissed off about that, and basically with the drugs, with the mockery of like you know, her master, and with the endangering of her sister, she tells the Brainiers to kill him. Like basically kill him as men. And Murray's like, "Yay, kill him, kill him!" And basically, the Brainiers like rip the human skin off, and try to wear it to make themselves look more human. And like, there's like blood all over the room. And Antic is like, just breaks from that. She's like, "What the heck?" Karia like apologizes, like, "Oh, sorry, yeah, I didn't expect him to go that far." And he's like, "Well, it's fine." And she's like, "What?" And she like gets it so scared she like she wets herself. So then the bringer's like, "Oh, we don't want she embarrassed. Oh, she wet herself. We must wet ourselves too to join in." Now Karia's like, "No." So yeah, so basically, yeah, this is a very brutal episode. Pretty funny, like with the holy crap, like with how evil Karya got. And then with how hilarious the brain ears were, I was like, okay, this is pretty funny. But yeah, I thought this was a really good episode. Interesting. Gradually building up the world, seeing more of outside of Mynoghra. So yeah, I really like this episode. Looking forward to the next one. Gachiakuta episode 7. So in this one, we see Rudo, using Griss's amulet as like a weapon to go after Jabber. Then Zanka recovers slightly in order to help fight. So the two of them together are able to fight off Jabber, but then Jabber is basically tries to uses like some poison, whatever, or something to like knock out Zanka, then grabs Rudo. But then Engine, bunch of the other cleaners arrive, and they are pissed off. Then this one girl takes Jabber away. Then yeah, then Gris's amulet like I guess fades away. It just it just turns to dust. And basically before Jabber reveals that the gloves are part of a series. Now, if you read the manga like I have, you know what the series is. And yeah, dude, the stuff with the I can tell you, the stuff with the gloves is gonna be insane. It is insane. But yeah, I really like this one. So like, Rudo and Zanka's like team up was awesome, and Gris saying that like he's glad that if Rudo's gonna get used out of the animal, he's okay with it being with it being gone. And there's a whole bit where a flashback of Rudo getting beat up by some people. When he's fighting Jabber, he's reminded of when he was getting beat up by some kids. Basically, they call him masochist, and he asked Regto what it was. So he thinks that Jabber is one. But yeah, so I'll say so the viol instrument. So the gloves, which are Rudo's viol instrument, there is a purpose behind them. I don't know everything. They are part of a series that will be revealed very soon. I will say that there's a lot more to be revealed about that, and it's insane. That I don't even know if we'll get to. There's a lot of it we won't. I don't even think we'll get to this season, but it's insane and it's freaking awesome. But yeah, I really liked this episode. Looking forward to the next one. Uglymug Epicfighter episode 8. So in this one, so Shigeru like fights Kajita, while the other three fight the monster for like Kajia's monster, and they'll defeat it in their like I guess quote superhero forms. Now while Shigeru's coming across Kajita, this other almighty god named Karina appears and basically like kills Kajita or something. Like I think Kajita's dead. And reveal and shown that so she basically so Karina this like is able to I guess has the same class as Shigeru, so basically similar power level. And then so and it looks like that so basically it was really like Kajita was trying to steal Karina's all body skills. So basically he's able to like steal people's skills. So that's what he wanted to do. Then basically so she's also gonna be a foil due to like Shigeru not being able to touch women or else he'll get significantly damaged. Yeah, he should, dude. That was like a dumb thing he did putting that. Like, dude, don't put such dumb like restrictions on yourself or else you're gonna freaking die. But yeah, so it looks like Karina is going to be a major foil throughout this series. But yeah, I really like this episode. I like what they're setting up with like a feature villain, and looking forward to the next one. Hotel Inhumans episode 8. So in this one, this like private private investigator named Kagurabachi and his assistant Nakata are following this couple, with one of them being you know, one of them, the woman is like an actress, is like an actress, who's cheating on her husband with this dude. But so when they're spying on them, trying to get pictures or whatever, the man kills the actress. So Nakato's concerned about the girl, but Kawawaki doesn't care. He wants to like follow the guy, get some info, so that basically sells story to tabloids and get some like get some money out of it. So Kawaki uses a drone to spy on the killer talking to Sarah. Now Sarah shoots the drone down, and Kawaki returns to the car to find Nakata seemingly dead. And he's confronted by the guy who's revealed to be Ikuro. Basically, Ikuro tells Kawaki that you know he knows too much and makes him delete evidence, and Kawaki tries to bluff his way. So Ikuro offers him that, like, hey, if he joins, like, if he becomes an informant for the hotel, that he either let himself die so his family could be spared, or become informant for the hotel and his family be killed. So he's dropped him at the park. Police, you know, 2 police officers arrive, and shown that a lot of and then it's shown that a lot of like I guess some information about Kawaki became public, so like he runs, but then when he's running from the cops, he gets hit by a truck and dies. And he's not shown to be reincarnated in Isekai, so it ain't an Isekai truck. But it's shown that so Nakata and the woman, they're not dead. Turns out they were members of the Spiders, which is the hotel's secret spy team. And Ikuro is shown that like he sold, like, basically he, I guess, leaked a lot of that. So it's shown that like Ikuro believed that if Kawaki was he didn't buy Kawaki's act in like struggling to sell out the family, and he says that if Kawaki was so willing to sell his family, he probably sell out the hotel too. So basically, he considers Kawaki to not have passed. So of course Kawaki's dead now. So it's shown that the Spires are a few members short. Now Nakata tells Sarah that the location of some group called the Gray Rhino, and Sarah wants it kept secret from Ikuro for some reason. I guess the Gray Rhino is like some adversary for Ikuro for whatever reason. So who knows what's going on with them? I've not read the source material, so I can't say, but I'm interested. I am interested in seeing what's going on. But yeah, I really like, dude, the whole twist with it. Yeah, like, dude, the whole twist with this was cool. Like, it was like, what? This was just to set up the guy, test him to see if he could join the Spiders, but it turns out but then he does. I was like, what the frick? I mean, there is like so much stuff. And we see Ikuro like being a little ruthless, not full on like he's willing to kill the guy. But yeah, this this is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. So who the Gray Rhino is? But yeah, I really like this episode. You know, took place outside the hotel, but it was all the hotel staff. But yeah, I really like this episode. Looking forward to the next one. Dekin no Mogura, the Earthbound Mole, Episode 8. So in this one, Ye invites Magi, Shio, the entire Nekozuku family, and Mogura to, I guess, the island she's from, since since Mogura had known Ye's great grandfather. So when they go, we see so Ye's grandfather does not recognize Mogura, does not recognize the same guy he had been with there in the war. So we see Ye give vague explanations of the island, some of the traditions, and it's freaking funny. Then you have the great grandpa compete with Mogura, who we called Sato, and then so that I guess all the people that they're able to see I guess some merman this spirit thing that's able I guess made from a bunch of dark emotions about that could draw people into the ocean if they stare too long. But yeah, I thought this was, and then seeing everything go on. But yeah, I thought with how they handled the island, the traditions, the spirits, I thought was really cool. And then the old guy just being hilarious. The dude, it was funny. So yeah, I really like this episode. Looking forward to the next one. Not so fast, my friend. Elite Corso special. So with legendary college football broadcaster Lee Corso retiring, after college game day, this upcoming Saturday, ESPN did a special going over his career as a coach, as a player, as a broadcaster, going over it, especially, with his time on game day, how his personality really helped ESPN get viewers, and how he was a good mentor figure for all the people who played for him, who during his coaching career, and then who all worked with him, you know, when he was at ESPN. So us and during this you have Kirk Herbstreit guide him through some areas. I guess in the College Football Hall of Fame of what some stuff from his career, and we see Corso sitting in the theater, seeing all these tributes, thank you messages from different people, I guess, who impacted his career. Of course, the last tribute is from Herbstreit, of course, and dude, Herbstreit should bawling he is in tears from it because he has been basically when Corso had his stroke, you know, Herbstreit was a big help for him. He did a lot to help him out. When 2020 happened, they tried to finally have to safely get Corso involved, you know, because, due to various events that went on 2020, and, Corso being in his 80s at the time, obviously he's 90 now. He's an old, he's up there, but he's had a great career, and it was cool to see his career and everything. All the people he knew, of course, being friends with college roommates with Burt Reynolds. His whole career with all the people he coached, all the people he worked with. Everybody respect everybody respected Lee Corso. Like as an announcer, all the stuff with the headgear and the whole dress up as Ben Franklin when he dropped the F bomb on live television. And all the stuff with his interactions with guest pickers and everyone there, Corso has done a lot for college football, and college game day will not be the same without him, and everyone knows it. Of course, it is, he's 90. He, of course, he can't do this forever. Much as we would like him to do college game day forever, we know he can't. He's 90. There's stuff he just can't do at 90. But we'll miss him. He's had a great career. You know, this college game will probably get a lot of viewers because it's Corso's last week, and obviously he'll just retire, live a good last few years of his life. He'll who knows I don't know how long he'll be on this earth. He's 90, but he's lived a full life, and he's going off into the sunset on his own terms. Like he's leaving a fulfilled career, and basically Lee Corso deserves a lot of respect. And as far as his documentary goes, I thought it was a really good documentary talking about his career. And you see like all the tributes and Corso and Herb Street recapping his life, his career. I thought it was great. I thought it was really good. A very good tribute to a legendary broadcaster who ESPN will miss, and who all of us as viewers will miss. So yeah, congratulations to a great career, Lee Corso. And that's it. Did y'all like the stuff I reviewed? And if you have your own opinions about all that, you can put all that in the comments. Thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, and all that. And look forward to the next video.